What are 10 things you need to do before your labor starts? Hey, moms, I'm Dr. Shaunna Mason. I'm a board certified OBGYN practicing here in Houston, and I'm here to educate on everything you need to know about your body getting ready for baby, delivering, and recovering postpartum. So, what are the 10 things you need to do or think about doing as you're getting ready to have your baby or before your labor starts? So, one of the most important things that you will see that changes as you get closer to your due date is that you start having weekly prenatal visits. So, instead of having to wait weeks or even a month between seeing your doctor or provider, you start to come every week. And this is to accomplish a few things. Some of it is the last bit of testing that we need to make sure you and the baby stay really healthy all the way through delivery. But also, it's to check on things that change, things that could be concerning for us, your care team, like your blood pressure or signs of dehydration, or uncovering that maybe your baby isn't moving as much as they were before, to help you understand how your body's changing and getting ready for labor. That includes things like talking about contractions. How are they changing? Talking about pressure and if the baby's lower, talking about if the baby's still moving really well, right? And how to know when there's a shift from your body just getting ready for labor to actually being in labor. So, what you can expect towards the end of your pregnancy are weekly prenatal visits. Another thing you want to make sure you've done before you go into labor, if at all possible, is registering at your hospital. So, most of the time, doctor's office, the system your doctor uses or your midwife, isn't exactly the same as the system your hospital uses. So, you want to go into their system, upload their patient portal, put all your information in, and so that you have an account at the hospital. I think it's also good to go ahead and do a trial run if you haven't already. Know the routes you're going to take. We live in Houston. We have lots of traffic here. So I always encourage my patients to find multiple routes to get to the hospital. That way, if things are happening at a not so great time, you still have a way to get to the hospital. You already know where you're going, where you're going to park, where you're going to walk in, all of those things. You want to get your GBS swab, moms. So this is a vaginal swab that I think gives moms a lot of fear, but it's really not that big of a deal. This is a vaginal swab that we do usually in those last weeks of pregnancy to tell if you are a mom who carries a bacteria on your body known as GBS or group beta strep. For us, this bacteria is no problem at all. As you may know, bacteria lives all over us, and it's part of what we call our human biome or our flora, and it causes us no problems at all. But babies are brand new to this world. They live in a pretty sterile environment inside of our bodies, and so when they enter into our world, they are exposed to bacteria. Unfortunately, this is one that could be present in your body as the mom that can be a little tricky for your baby to manage when they are born. It can lead to blood infections and lung infections, things like pneumonia. And so, if you are a carrier, we treat that when you're in labor so that we manage that bacteria off of your body. It's no longer there as your baby is making their entrance. And so, this is an important thing to know if you are a carrier for this bacteria before you go into labor. I think it's really important to talk about your birth plan with your doctor, right? This may be something that you're not sure how to bring up or you're not even sure how to do. I would love, love, love to help you with that. And I have linked my free birth plan and companion guide at the below this video so that you can grab it, print it out, watch the video, think about the things that, are important to you as part of your birth, whether, honestly, that's a vaginal delivery goal or a C-section. Maybe you want things to be different this time. Maybe you have no idea what you want and you don't even know where to start. I think it's a good opportunity for you to talk to your doctor to make sure that you feel like you're as knowledgeable as you can about what might happen when you get to the hospital and having your baby and what her philosophy is on things, right? Never had a baby before, but she's delivered lots of babies, hopefully, and can help guide you and give you all the confidence and reassurance that you need. And I really do hope that my birth plan and companion guide video helps with that too. Make sure you pack your hospital bag. Trust me, for someone who went into labor before my scheduled delivery and it was not on my radar and I did not have my bag packed, I thought I still had several more days. Procrastinator here. You're in good company if you're one of them. It is not fun to run around your house trying to collect all the things that you need or remember all the things you need when you are in labor and contracting. So when you get to 37, 38 weeks, it's a good idea to just gather up all the stuff that you know you want to bring with you to the hospital, have it in one place, go ahead and have it in a bag, so that all you have to do is grab that and toss it in the car. I also encourage my patients to start bringing that bag with them in the car to their prenatal visits. We never know when this baby's going to come, and we never know when a complication might pop up towards the end of pregnancy where your doctor is saying, it's no longer safe to stay pregnant, to the extreme that we might send you straight to the hospital. And it's just stressful to think, I didn't pack this, that bag's still at home, I wasn't quite ready. And we just want to minimize stress for you. So if you just have that bag packed, even if there may be a few items that you need your partner to swing by the house to grab for you, if you have most of the things and comforts that you want or planning to have with you already in the car, if you get one of those unexpected prenatal visits, you have everything you need right there. Okay, you want to talk to your doctor about vaccines that she recommends at the end of pregnancy. More and more studies have shown that by giving moms some boosters, we're actually able to rev up some of your immunity, transfer that immunity across the placenta so that your baby, again, kind of like the GBS, they're new to this world and these bacteria and these viruses. They don't have a lot of immune support. They're kind of a fragile little being. And so we want to give them as much protection as we can until they are exposed to our world, to our bacteria, and to our antigens, and all of these things that help bolster up their immune system, and before they start their own vaccines with your pediatric team. So some of these include flu shot and the COVID vaccine, as well as RSV, which has been a very tough virus for babies to battle. And now we have really good vaccine that we're able to give to pregnant moms during RSV season, that revs up some of their immunity and antibodies that allow babies to be born with some protection in the first 2 months of life when they are most fragile to this virus. Now, some of these vaccines are more seasonal. And then we have other boosters like the Tdap vaccine, which we recommend also to accomplish the goal of transferring some of your antibodies over to your baby so that they are protected against an aggressive virus for newborns known as pertussis. Now, for us, this is just a really bad cold, but for babies, it can be really hard for them to clear some of these infections and is one of the more common reasons that babies are hospitalized in the first 2 months of life. So anything we can do safely for moms to transfer some of that immunity is a good thing. So it's good to talk to your doctor about what these are, what the schedule is recommended, and if you're planning on getting those vaccines so you have time to get them. You want to wrap up work if you are a working mom out there. And honestly, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you have tons of jobs you probably need to get organized and done also. But I think it's a good thing to think about your health and your baby and prioritizing your time to have a baby and recover and raise this little person who, even though they're on the outside, they are still 100% dependent on you. So you want to start closing out projects, transferring work that you can, planning your team, your work environment, your work family to be ready for you to be gone. It's also a good idea to make sure that you have any paperwork needed to cover you on short-term disability or FMLA or whatever your maternity leave policy is. Now, we know there aren't great policies here in the United States, and that's a whole debate for another day, but you want to check with your HR department and make sure that you have all of that paperwork submitted correctly so that you can have a more streamlined maternity exit. You want to plan for backup care for your big kids and your fur babies. Now, again, as a mom who thought I had several days before I was having that next baby, we were caught a little by surprise and didn't quite have a good backup plan for our big kid when I did go into labor unexpectedly on a day where our family wasn't yet in town. So I think whether it's a neighbor or a friend or a nanny, or doggy daycare, whatever it is, I think you want to use your village, your surrounding people, to have a plan to let your pets out, make sure they have food and water, to be there for your big kids, to prepare, even if you don't prepare your big kid for it, you want that support person to know that they were charged with this great responsibility so they can step in and make it a really seamless transition for your big kid. So make sure you have an emergency backup plan, even if that's the middle of the night plan, for care for your big kids and your fur babies. Okay, we're getting down to the last few things. Number 8 on my list here is install your car seat. So car seats are not an easy thing to install. And I jokingly told my husband if we were to never have him in our life, if I was not to have him anymore, I don't know that I could install a car seat. So I find this to be a really challenging thing. So make sure that you have done it before it is time to take your newborn home from the hospital. You cannot take your baby home without a car seat. So having that installed, knowing how to get it in and out, will make you a much less flustered parent leaving the hospital with that new baby that we are so excited to meet very soon. Okay, and then last but not least, number 10 on my list, which I think is often overlooked, and I really personally didn't appreciate it until I was on the other side of delivery, is find some time to connect with your significant other, your partner in this life. It is a lot of work after you have a baby and you're trying to navigate all the changes in your body and your hormones, and you have this little person to keep alive. And it is really hard, whether it's your first baby or you're adding to your collection. I think it's hard for both of you. And I think many couples go through a transition period where they feel like they are just in the grind of life and not well connected for a while after they have a new baby. And that's seasonal. We all go through those hard times as couples. But I think taking some time in those last weeks of pregnancy to connect with your partner is really, really important, whether that's going out on a date, trying a new restaurant, starting a new Netflix show, whatever you feel up to. Be creative, but make it special. Plan it in advance, talk about it, get excited about it. So that you really feel like you go into your delivery when life is going to be so different on the other side with this new baby. Very exciting, but also very different, that you have, laid some good foundation going into that with your partner, your support person. I think this goes for you too, whether that's, going to a movie by yourself or going to a coffee shop and reading a book, getting your nails done. All of these things, we label as self-care these days, but they are just a way to feel grounded in yourself. Newborns are a lot of work. Having a baby is really hard on our bodies. Even when it's easy, it's hard, right? So just taking some time in those weeks leading up to baby to let the focus not be on just getting ready for this new baby that we're so excited about, but feeling well connected to yourself, to your soul, to the things that bring you joy, I think is so valuable as a mom going into kind of the unknowns of having a baby or adding a baby to your family, all of those things. So I hope you found this helpful. These are my top 10 things to make sure you get done before you go into labor. And again, I dropped my free birth plan and video guide below. I would love for you to check those out. Leave me some comments. Both let me know how you liked it and what you want to learn more about. Share this channel so I can reach more people, and subscribe so you see me every Friday.